Here is what I said in the last video.
Step into the confidence that God has called you to walk in as a mother, as a wife, and a guardian of your home.
Guardian of your home is the phrase she chose. She didn't say executive of your home, and she didn't say CEO of your home. She said guardian. A guardian's job is to stay there and protect what's inside. Her current title is chair and CEO of Turning Point USA. The title she gave women on her podcast was guardian of the home. Those are different jobs for a reason. And it's true. She did not say CEO of your home back in March of 2025. That would be silly, right? Right? Well, you will not believe what I just found. Not even 3 months after that podcast aired, here she is, live on her ministry channel.
Well, it's kind of like you become the CEO of your household.
But let's hear it in context, because the context does not make it better.
These giftings that God has given women that work really well in the workforce and in school, for that matter, in academia, are actually best suited in the home when they're raising children and homeschooling them and doing all of these things. You begin to see elements coming out of women that are so remarkable and so radical that their contributions to their family completely change the world around them, far more than becoming a CEO of eBay or
CEO of TPUSA, chair of TPUSA's board.
But people don't get it because God created that gifting within them for the purpose of their contributions to their family and becoming helpmeets to their husband to become successful and do the great things that he's called them to do.
Right.
And that's a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow, but the reality of it is, it truly is the more enjoyable and better and meaningful and purposeful way to do things.
Well, it's kind of like you become the CEO of your household. Well, your husband's obviously, you know what I mean. But
No, it is.
She gets to the word. Here's the problem. Hands the title to her husband mid-sentence. Well, your husband, obviously. And then takes it back. But no, it is. By the way, note what this pastor says too. In my personal opinion, he is over the top when it comes to being a yes man to Erika and white knighting for her harder than even Integral Vet does. Not only does this pastor not correct her, he takes it further.
Well, it's kind of like you become the CEO of your household. Well, your husband's obviously, you know what I mean. But
It is your household.
Yeah.
It's this. Look, my home, my wife is the manager of our home. Now, I am the spiritual leader, all of that. But look, my wife is in essence the one that, as anything that relates to our home and children, my wife is the CEO of all of those things.
Right.
No. The belief is a real one. Husband leads the family spiritually, wife runs the home. Plenty of churches teach exactly that, and someone can hold it honestly. If she had always talked that way, this clip would be nothing. Her record goes the other way. March 2023, her Instagram. Stop trying to be a boss babe, start being a godly woman.
People try to attach the boss babe label to a positive work mode mindset that tricks you into thinking that you're actually building something, and you're not. You're actually doing the opposite. You're falling into alignment with the secular world's agenda to distract you from what you should be building as a female. You're getting distracted with the comparison and the competition rather than focusing on the blessings, the opportunities, and the skills that God wants you to seize, that he wants you to redeem, develop, and grow. So you have a choice. You can be a boss babe that has the look-alike everything, the same talking points, the same Instagram filters, the same grid outline, or you can be the strong woman that God has created you to be.
And 5 weeks before this clip, Charlie gave the example of the empty life. This is a clip that's sort of now famously going around.
Becoming a CEO of a shoe company is not going to give you happiness.
Women have it so mixed up.
On her channel, CEO was the word for the wrong path. Then it slipped out as hers.
And I am not a servant. I am not a slave to the master. I am his helpmate. I am the guardian of the home. That is my domain.
Like, you are meant as a woman to be the guardian of your home, to be the helpmate of your husband.
I think if you understand the biblical role of a husband and a wife,
You're not just a helpmate. Yes, you are a helpmate, but you're not just a helpmate. You're a guardian of the home. You're helping raise the next generation.
Guardian and helpmate. That's the approved vocabulary on repeat across her podcast, the joint episodes with Charlie, the outside interviews, and everything I have of her teaching women. CEO comes out of her mouth once. You've already seen it. The clip is from May 30th. Charlie was killed September 10th. About a week after that, the board made her chief executive of Turning Point USA, a 9-figure organization. And you know what? Let's go item by item. September 21st, the stadium address. October, she's speaking at Ole Miss. November, the Jesse Waters interview on Fox. Then a live sit-down with Megyn Kelly. December, the New York Times Dealbook Summit. A full week of Fox appearances. Launching Charlie's book, the CBS Town Hall. And she opens M-Fest from the main stage. February, the Make Heaven Crowd tour launches. 30 plus cities on the schedule, speech after media appearance after speech. Every other day, she finds some way to get in front of a camera on a stage if possible. 2 kids under 4 at home the whole time. Come on, the life she spent years warning young women away from became her job description in under 4 months. And Charlie's most replayed warning ends in the job title his own wife holds at his own company. And she said it, she literally said it back in May before any of this existed. And sure, it was of the household, but it's so on the nose that I was literally like, oh, it's not CEO of the household, is it? And then I find a clip of her literally saying CEO of the household. In the last video, the whole point was the word she chose. Guardian, not CEO. Turns out she'd already used the other one. Guardian is what she preached. CEO is what she slipped. And CEO is what she became.
Stop. That's it. That's all I have to say. Stop.